with the light of spirit. And as you breathe out, see yourself as a vessel of spirit, pouring out love and kindness. Breathe in, breathe out. Allow your breath to set your own personal rhythm for your body, for the synchronicity that breathing through the heart creates. Your breath through your lungs, your blood through your veins, even your cells bear witness to this powerful rhythm that flows in union with your heartbeat. Your physical body aligns with the rhythm of your heart. Your spiritual body easily and effortlessly aligns itself to the rhythm of spirit, to the light of love, kindness, and peace. So in this sacred space where time stands still, your future is still unwritten, and the energy of Source eternal fills your soul, I invite you to use that energy, that power, to change the world. Broadcast love and kindness and compassion and peace. Broadcast that out into the world. Give with all of your heart, and know, for the world these days are changing. I invite you to claim for yourself, for those in your life, and for the peoples of the world, divine harmony. Know that you are aligned with the thing itself, that through this alignment there is peace and ease and balance in life. We are all one in the mind of God, and what we do individually impacts all. You are a divine being, blessed, complete, and perfect in essence. Allow that essence of love to spring forth into the world, healing by revealing the Spirit of God everywhere. Share your light, Spirit's light, with the world. And use this sacred, quiet time to make a difference in the world through your connection to it and to Spirit. Share this divine light of pure love with the world. And where there is hatred, sow love. Where there is doubt, faith. Where there is despair, hope. Where there is darkness, light. Where there is sadness, joy. So in this time when the music plays and you are one with Spirit, send that healing energy to the world. the field of pure potentiality. And in that field, I can choose love, and I do. And I choose compassion. I choose hope. I choose light, joy, harmony, peace. I invite you to bring your consciousness back from its expanded state. Gently and easily return your focus to your breathing and draw your energy back into your heart. Become aware of the room that you are in, your seat, your physical body. Become grounded again in this physical world. And I leave you with this thought. It is in the giving that we receive. So this week, as your life unfolds, take a moment here and there in your day to be the love, kindness, and peace that the world needs. In every small way, you do make a difference. And remember that the loving power of the ever-present Spirit is expanded through and as you. Namaste.
Good morning, Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. I'm going to be giving you the announcements today. My name is Sarah Awad, and I'm a licensed spiritual practitioner. And I just want to say a huge thank you to everyone joining today in person and on Facebook for meditation and Sunday celebration. If you would like to facilitate a workshop on a Sunday afternoon, complete a 2022 CCSL workshop request form in the e-newsletter or contact the office. We'd love to have you share your talents with the community. Divine Dining is back. If you're interested in hosting to support the center, forms are in the e-newsletter or call the office. Today is the last day to donate to Just. If you brought items today, please place them in the labeled box in the lobby. Next Saturday, June 11th, Just will be at the Hilltop Community event from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. to distribute items to attendees. Thank you to everyone who donated to this cause. We will let you know when a future event for Just will take place. Please join Dave Scarborough on Sunday, June 12th at 12 p.m. in the community room for his workshop, Creating Your Beautiful Life. Sign up in the lobby to attend and see more details. We also have a brand new class that starts up on Thursday, June 16th, and you are invited to join. This class is Spiritual Principles and Practices. Whether you are new to Science of Mind or you've been around for a while, this 5-week Zoom class offers a journey into the principle of being and practicing come together with a group of like-minded people to explore creating positive changes for your life. Sign up today at the information table. Additional details are also available on the sign-up sheet. You can also contact the office to register. Outreach gardening opportunity to gather and grow for others. This year we are planting a community garden right here at the temple, and Carissa Holmes will lead this effort. We need more people to sign up so we can get the garden started. Others will be needed to weed and water and harvest throughout the growing season. If you cannot participate in the physical work, you can donate plants or tools for the garden itself. Help CCSL gather and grow for others here where we celebrate each Sunday. Sign up in the lobby. Columbus Pride is back this year for an in-person celebration. Yay! Save the dates, June 17th and 18th. We won't have a booth and we will not be marching in the parade this year, but you can still show your support by attending. You can Google Columbus Pride 2022 for details. Save the date for the 2023 Parliament of World Religions, August 14 through 18 in Chicago. The Super Saver rate is just $2.26 if you register on or before June 30th, 2022. Matt Vidal is coordinating this effort with our CCSL community to coordinate carpooling, lodging, etc. See Matt Vidal if you are interested. We are excited to inform you that we have 2 new ways to donate to CCSL. We have a web giving link and a new text to give number. These are both on the slide being shown to you, and you can also access them from your e-newsletter that was published on Thursday, May 26th. Are you getting our monthly e-newsletter? It's full of all kinds of important information about CCSL. If you're not receiving our e-newsletter, please leave your information with Julie before leaving today. If you would like prayer after service anytime throughout the week, you can find our prayer practitioners on our website, columbuscsl.org, or you can submit a prayer request on our Facebook page. Today, after service, our prayer practitioners will be in the ante room just outside these doors. That's the news for today, and let's all stand and sing our opening song.
morning. Welcome to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Margie Salmons, like the fish, I always like to say. I am a licensed religious science practitioner here at the center, as well as the spiritual director. And I want to welcome everybody that's here in person and also everyone online. And I want to just remind everyone that we are an inclusive organization, and our philosophy supports any path to spirit that you are on, because they're all equally divine. So wherever you are on your path, you are welcome. However you present in the world, you are welcome. We love you all. Come and visit us. I got goosebumps. Okay, anyway, let's see where we are here. I'd like to read our mission statement, and I'd like you to read along with me if you would. How cool is that? Okay, we serve the transformation of individual lives through education, spiritual practice, and deep community, using spirit and science of mind principles as our compass. So we started today with a meditation from 10 to 10:15. And our practitioners who are not with us today are holding High Watch. And High Watch is holding the consciousness so that this celebration on Sunday can be even more amplified in consciousness. So we thank all of our practitioners that are holding High Watch. And I'd like to reintroduce Sarah Awad. Sarah.
We now begin our sacred service. A reading from R.I. Campbell. My temple is my body. My world around me, my altar. My words are spells. Every thought an intention. My actions, rituals. To manifest all that will be, I am sacred, I am divine. And now let the music take us within.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know. Be still and know. Be still and know. Be still and know. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know.
And so, as I just take this moment to turn within and remember that right here, right now, where I am, God is. I am grateful, so grateful for this moment, grateful for my breath, the breath that I am breathing now. I'm grateful for the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living, grateful to be here. I am grateful, so very grateful, that the soon-to-be Reverend Margie is here with us this morning to deliver a message of joy, of hope, of inspiration, filled up and overflowing with wisdom and deep spiritual truth. But most of all, I am grateful to know that God is right here, right now, and that there is nothing outside of this one body, this one life, that is all life. This life is all life, and all life is God's life. And so, as I recognize that deep connection that we have with one another, and with that one life that we call God, I allow this to be my truth, recognizing that I am a living, breathing expression of the beauty and the grace of God, as are we all. I am, you are, we are that, always have been, always will be. And so I allow this knowing to be a blessing in a world, knowing that I am a blessing, we are blessings, and as we are blessings, we are also blessed. I know that this service is blessed, and that it is indeed in divine right order. From the beautiful music to the inspirational message that Margie is about to deliver to us, to the opportunity for fellowship and for connection and for deep community. I call it good and very good. And I invite you to join me in saying, and so it is. Amen.
Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know.
What a wonderful feeling for a Sunday morning. Welcome again. And I just want to say thank you to Sarah for the shout out at the prayer. That was cool. So again, I'm Margie Sammons. I'm the spiritual director here. And hopefully within a year, the new minister, but we shall see. So I'm going to be talking today about something, but before we get started, I want to ask you a question. And if you're willing, take a moment and silently, in your mind, answer it honestly. So here's the question. What immediately comes to your mind when you think about your body? Gonna let that sink in for a minute. And so just hold those thoughts that you had when I asked you that question about what comes to mind when you think about your body. And I'm gonna ask you, if those thoughts tended to be a bit negative, be open about our subject for June. Because this month, we're moving into a new aspect of the Living Everyday Wonder, which is our yearly theme for Centers for Spiritual Living. And this month, we're going to explore how to live everyday wonder through the magnificent, magical, and divine creation that is our body. The body you have right here and right now is an expression of God, and by loving it, learning about it, listening to it, we come closer to the divine. So welcome to the temple that is your body. So I know that there may be a bit of cringing at the thought of celebrating our body. I actually heard a when I asked that question. Not going to name any names or anything like that. Could have been me. But through this month, we want to change that feeling, if it exists, because it doesn't exist for everyone. And we want to share how our bodies are actually our own personal, magnificent, magical conduits between God and our individual consciousness. Probably haven't thought about that. I know I don't really think about that a lot, and this month has caused me to do that. So the body is the one thing in the world which is completely and intimately ours. Rather than engaging in a spirituality that denies the body, we can move closer to the experience of God here and now by fully engaging with our body. And we can learn to celebrate our body for the way it allows us to experience the world in which we live. Ernest Holmes, who is our founder, in the Science of Mind textbook, he said this about our relationship to our bodies. He said, "Our body is part of the kingdom of God. Therefore, there is a spiritual pattern at the center of it." And probably if you're here or if you're listening in, you probably know somebody that does some body work, what we like to call body work. You may even be that person. These folks work with the body, the energy, and the connection between the physical and the divine, acknowledging that there is that connection. Now, this may be through Reiki, massage, acupuncture, Tai Chi, yoga, meditation, relaxation techniques, mindfulness, spinal manipulation, and many other therapies, too numerous to mention. That was a lot right there. Because we probably don't think about that, the body work and the connection between body work and our divinity. All bodies are good bodies, and the body offers a direct and clear path to the divine experience if we allow it. By loving the body and using it to connect to our minds and hearts, and listening to its wisdom, we celebrate its magnificence, and we can awaken to this everyday wonder of living our physical life in a body. So, now, most of you have likely grown up with social messaging that our bodies are not acceptable for one reason or another: too fat, too thin, too short, too tall, too brown, too black, too white, too one thing or another. Just pick it. It could be anything. We may have an ideal image of how our body could look or operate, and in feeding that image, we tell our body that what is right now in this moment isn't acceptable. We want to change that. So I want to explore that a little bit. So I am a person of a certain age, old. So I'm not a big social media adherent, but I have kids and I have grandkids. So when I was growing up, however, the big thing was television. And it has, and still has, if you're not streaming, and even if you are, but anyway, I digress. It has a lot of commercials, and the commercials tend to tell me how I should look, how I should dress, how I should act, how much I should weigh. And as a young kid, or watch television, and I won't tell you the shows I watch because that really gives away my age, but I didn't really consciously recognize that, but it was still a subconscious message. And they sank into my subconscious. And it wasn't just women's messages, because we often think that, it's just about women, but men were impacted as well in how they should be. Women should be thin and attractive based on pretty much an unrealistic Barbie doll type image, long, thick hair, a nice to everyone attitude. Gotta be nice, gotta be a girl, be nice. Men had their own unrealistic ideals that were hammered into them too, that they should live up to. They should be athletic, they should be strong, they should have a chiseled jaw and thick hair. They should never cry or show emotion. My gosh. And the other non-spoken implication, at least back in my day, was the total exclusion of people of color in the beauty image. So this bombardment of media body image hasn't changed much, honestly, unfortunately. Although we have matured a little bit, because we now do have people of color in our images of beauty. But as a society, we're still, I believe, sending a false message. We see it in Facebook, and I have to just admit that I call it Facebook, and I do that because the posts are almost always showing some positive, larger-than-life experience, or at least only the positive things in people's lives. Because after all, the boring parts of our lives are not interesting. Nobody wants to see you doing the laundry. Unless, of course, you're an influencer and you're advertising something. That's how much I know about that. But anyway, so we see this false message of beauty or expectation or strength, whatever it is, however it applies to you, and we see it in Instagram, we see it in TikTok. And unless you've had your head in the sand, you cannot be non-aware of the fact that in the news, these platforms have shown to be detrimental to teens, particularly young women, as they often portray unattainable images and lifestyle images as well. So how do we combat all that bombardment? We gotta learn to love our bodies as they are. We open ourselves up to the opportunity to heal the wounds or the traumas that hide within our physical selves. By opening to feeling how the body feels without judging it, we open to the opportunity to receive insight and wisdom through this miraculous and wonderful thing. And we can share that and our journey with the young people in our lives as well. So Kimberly Crenshaw said this: to build a world that works for everyone, we must first make the radical decision to love every facet of ourselves. The body is not an apology, is the mantra we should all embrace. The body is not an apology. Because our bodies are divinely created. They're part of the kingdom of spirit or the kingdom of God, or else we wouldn't have them. Just like the one mind saw fit to create many different varieties of flowers and trees and animals and birds and various landscapes across this beautiful earth, so it created many different types of bodies. So no one thing is better than another. We would never tell a rose to act like a sunflower, because that rose and that sunflower have their own unique personalities, their own unique gifts that they bring to the world. So why should we tell our bodies to be different than they are? And even though our bodies have a physical nature, It doesn't divorce them from the spiritual. Our bodies act as the intermediary in which we navigate, as I said before, this physical realm. And we gotta remember, everything is spiritual. Everything is God. All bodies are inherently good and valuable, deserving of love and deserving of respect. So our bodies, listening to what our minds say, can hold experiences of pleasure or of pain, and often what goes unaddressed in the mind can show up in the body. Each of us is deserving of a harmonious relationship with our bodies and a society which supports us and our bodies exactly as they are. The body is a tool for spiritual connection and understanding and ought to be respected as such. You know, we never, going back to nature, which I love, we never look at an oak tree and tell it that it ought to change into a willow. And we don't hold a lily by the same standard as we do a fern. We take all of this in as a part of the wonderful variety that's displayed in nature. And we should do that with ourselves, with our bodies, and other people's bodies. Have you ever compared your body to another as though it should be something other than what it was? And I will confess, of course I have, because that's the message I kept getting, that mine wasn't the ideal. But then I remember that in Science of Mind, we teach that everything that exists does so in order that the divine may fully express itself in a variety of ways, an unlimited, infinite variety of ways. So our bodies, your body, exactly as it is necessary for the divine to express itself right here and right now as you and as me. Rather than compare it to another or disparage it, what if we each loved our body for being the unique and wonderful thing that it is? What a radical thought. Many of us do live in some state of discord within our bodies, in one way or another. You know, perhaps we're not exactly holding it accountable to an unreasonable beauty standard, but maybe we are holding on to some aches and pains that want to tell us something important, or are there holding on to some unprocessed feeling, but we're unable to let go. You know, we've often been told through society that the physical is somehow less than the spiritual. And we, again, forget that our bodies are spiritual. And the messages that we send our bodies with our minds, whether it's not good enough because of appearance, or that it is physical and therefore undeserving of our love and respect, or that it's just a biochemical machine with nothing important to say, those thoughts are not without consequence. In addition to being careful about the thoughts we think, we need to tune into our bodies and find out what message it is carrying for us. Because our bodies are not just simply living machines. They are temples in which God, Spirit, is able to express and live, breathe, move, and have its very being in the way it wants to. So let's just pause and think about that for a minute. In Science of Mind, we are always affirming that Spirit expands through each and every one of us, through us and as us. That as us is through our physical bodies. And we also recognize that every person is perfect, whole, and complete exactly as they are, regardless of the conditions that we see. So that means that perfect, whole, and complete exactly as they are is that person you're looking at and that person that you are, that body that you are. So our bodies are responsive to our thoughts and are more than just vessels for us to drive around. They're dynamic and expressive creations. You know, if we have pain and trauma and we push it away with our minds and we ignore it, it often gets stuck in the body. And the only way to release it is to feel through it, to recognize it. And we talked about that a lot last month when we talked about emotions and the need to acknowledge them, honor them, and recognize what they bring to us. Also, we know that collective pain and trauma can create masses of people with very real physical anguish. So just take a moment and think about what's been going on in the news. The recent mass shootings, the ongoing war in Ukraine. I have to say that I do watch the news. I don't get obsessed by it, but I have a need to know what's going on in the world. I think Michael Beckwith said he uses the news as his prayer list. But what I can say is when I see what's gone on tragically with the mass shootings that happen almost every day, I feel it. I feel it in my solar plexus. Down here, I feel it in my gut. I physically feel sick. And when I look at what's going on in Ukraine, and not just Ukraine, but other countries, I feel a pressure on my body. So it's easy to understand the extreme pain that would be felt in a body after experiencing any senseless loss of life in these events or others, even if you're not the one physically injured. Somebody like me who's not really there, and then I think about those people that have friends and relatives that are engaged in any of those ongoing tragedies. Be aware of your body when you hear bad news, because it may be speaking to you. It may need a little TLC. So it's not in any way anti-spiritual to tend to the needs of the body, and that includes medications when needed so that the body can be allowed to rest. It includes medical care. Ernest Holmes spoke about about medication in the book, The Essential Ernest Holmes. He said, since we cannot walk on water, we take a boat or an aspirin. So we're reminded today that in order to live truly harmoniously with our bodies, we gotta listen to them. By listening to them, we will likely find their discomfort eases a little bit. And that's because they no longer have to shout through the pain to be heard. Because the body can be a partner and share with us its deep divine wisdom and intuition, if we just allow it. So in Science of Mind, we always remind ourselves that we are spiritual beings in a physical body. Well, this body is an elaborate sophisticated, wonderful instrument provided to us to use while we are in this particular physical form. So I know I've talked a lot about stuff today, and we'll be unpacking a lot of what I've talked about through this week as we look at living everyday wonder through and with our bodies. And we're going to work with different ways that we can relate to our bodies, and ultimately just saying here that body awareness is a practice of being very present in the moment. It's not about judging whether it's good or bad, or thinking about the past, or worrying about the future. It's being in the present. So as I close my talk today, I'm going to give you some homework. I know it's summer, and you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but it's just a suggestion. This week, sit with these two ideas. Your body is perfect exactly how it is, and your body is a divine tool that is absolutely vibrating with the flow of Source. How might you move about your life differently if you absolutely knew these two things to be true? And how can you work towards becoming friends with your body and listening to its voice? Just make an effort to become aware of your body through the week. Because instead of looking at our body as separate from ourselves, our beingness, if we unify it together with ourselves and take good care of it, listening to it, respecting it, we can create a healthy relationship with our bodies. So if we treat our body as a partner who looks after our needs, and we really integrate ourselves with our body, we can create a more stable and fulfilling life. So I always like to provide a simple affirmation to use in the upcoming week if you'd like. So here's one for this week. My body is the house of the divine on earth. My body is the house of the divine on earth. And I'd like to restate the words from Eric Campbell that Sarah shared earlier in the service in the reading. My temple is my body, my world around me, my altar. My words are spells, every thought and intention, my actions, rituals to manifest all that will be. I am sacred, I am divine. So let's take this into prayer. I know that Spirit has created me and given me this fabulous body to move and dance and have my being within it. And what I know about Spirit, what I know about this thing I call God, is that it is love and light and joy and excitement, and it is truth. I know that I'm connected to it, and I know that every single person is connected and aligned with Spirit. And so what I claim for us as a peoples is that we love our bodies and we use our bodies to move us forward and do the work of Spirit as Spirit. What I claim for us is that there is love, there is peace, there is harmony that we spread in our everyday existence as mind, body, and spirit. It is with joy and appreciation that I recognize Spirit moving in and through and as each and every person. And I release this prayer into the law because I know that in the mind of the thing itself, it is already done. So I close with Amen, Ashe, and I ask you to close by saying with me, and so it is.
We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power of love. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power of love. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power. We know the healing power of love. Oh, we know the healing power of love. We know the healing power of love.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. And for those of you that don't know, that line, we know the healing power of love, is the very last line in the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living's vision statement, because we do know the healing power of love. So now it's time for the giving of our gifts. I want to thank you all personally for the way you are continuing to consciously contribute to the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. We're honored to be able to continue to support you spiritually, and we appreciate the gifts and the conscious contributions you make to CCSL. These are important because it helps us to fill our vision, which is a world, creating a world that works for everyone. And as we engage with the law of circulation, we remember that God is our source, and we are circulating Spirit's energy in the form of money by giving and receiving. Now, if you want to give electronically, Robin has the square up there, and she'll take it from your square. And I want to say this, Reverend Amy always says this, so we're going to pass or take the basket around. And if you give electronically, that's wonderful. Or if you cannot give today, that's good too. Just put your hands out and share that love and that energy that emanates from your spirit and your body with the Columbus Center for Spiritual Living. And just put your hands over that basket and pray us up, because that's what's important. So let's say our affirmation, if you'd like, with me. My gift goes forth to heal and bless and prosper. It does its good and perfect work and returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
And as we witness the law of circulation, join us in singing, I Trust in God. 1, 2, 3, 4.
hearing of the all good of God, I just take this moment to share a prayer of thanksgiving, knowing that its grace and its blessings are upon us, allowing the fullness and the richness of the divine to pour forth upon those who have chosen to allow themselves to be open conduits through which the light and the love and the continuous expression of Spirit has its way, allowing us to see that our source is not anything outside of ourselves. It is not a person, it is not a job, it is not an economy, but rather something that is infinite and inexhaustible. And I rest in a deep sense of security, knowing that my well-being and the well-being of this entire community is drawn from a deep reservoir, a reservoir that has its wellspring right here inside of me, and which is constantly pouring forth its riches. And so I just take this moment to say thank you, Father, Mother, God, for this opportunity to simply pause and acknowledge the good that is. And together we sing. And so it is.
And so it is, and so we let it be. And so it is, and so we let it be.
It's been fun, really. It's been very fun today. For all of you that aren't here, it's been really fun. Come join us in person. We don't bite. We hug a lot, but if you don't want to hug, that's fine too. Anyway, this is my favorite time. This is the rampage of appreciation, as Abraham says through Esther Hicks. This is our thank you. So I want to thank all of our practitioners that aren't here today that are holding high watch for this service. I could feel it running through me. I want to thank Sarah Awad. This is her first time on platform, so good job, Sarah. Thank you. A big thank you to our center trio that we love, Tony Bernardi on piano, Steve Paracas on bass, and Jimmy Casto on drums. Sending love to our sound guy, who is Rob Kuhn. Sending love to Julie Colburn, our service coordinator back there in the back. I want to thank also Danny Varas for live streaming to Facebook. Robin Brookhouse for giving us some slides to look at. And our wonderful song leaders, Michelle Chambers and Dave Scarborough. And I want to thank all the other volunteers that help create this sacred space for celebration. And last but not least, I want to thank all of you that are with us today for the Sunday celebration here physically and those folks online. For those folks online, bless you. You are invited back each and every week. Come join us, as are everyone sitting here with us. If you're joining us for the first time today, we have a welcome packet, and that is, you can pick that up on your way out from Julie at the back of the room, and it has our information, and you can fill that out, and we'll send you our e-newsletter with gobs of information, what we're doing. If you are online and you're not getting information, send us a Facebook message or call the office. And so I'd like to invite you to stand up and say our blessing with me. Let's see if I can do this here. Okay. There is only one life. That life is God's life. That life is perfect. That life is my life now. And so it is.